Back to another Sunday fun day with your boy Dudley. Do right. I am here. You can see my face a little bit. I am trying to get out of the sun a little bit. But I just wanted to come to you guys with a short video and just kind of explain to you guys how taxes work. A lot of people come to us, Dudley Accounting Services, and they're always trying to figure out how can I get more of my refund? How can I get more from taxes? And they actually think they make money from taxes, but you kind of really don't. There are only a couple refundable credits like the earned income credit um, and the education credits that you can really, I guess, in a way, make money off of taxes. But really doesn't work like that. But today, I'll be going over how taxes work. But today is March the 9th. So what are you doing with your life to make your future and your reality what you want it to be? I aspire you, and I want you guys to do more. So here is a common ways document, and it kind of goes over our standard deduction amounts, right? So each American, we get a standard deduction based on our status. If we're single, married, filing jointly, married, filing separately, and head of household. And they all have different rates that they go by, right? Have different rates. We're just going to use our standard deduction for the single for this example. So welcome to Dudley's breakdown of tax year 2020. So this is how taxes work. So say if we have income from a W2 job or a 1099 job, Schedule C can be a business, Schedule E rental property, capital investments, partnership, right? So say we have total income of 200 grand. Total income is 200 grand, right? Now we take that 200 grand that we made in income from all of our income sources and we use our deductions. So in businesses, we have a lot of expenses and deductions that we get to lower our tax liability with. So we get to use expenses and deductions to lower our tax liability in regards to 1099s, Schedule Cs, and Schedule Es, and you get to use on your K1s in your partnerships or corporations. But the sad thing is, you don't get to use your deductions um, for W2 income. So earned income from an employer, you don't really get that many deductions or benefits. Now, the deduction that you do get from a W2, from being a W2 employee, and also a business owner, you get the standard deduction, which we just talked about. We get the standard deduction of $12,000, $12,400, right? Isn't that great? So what we did in our example here, we took the 200 grand that we made in income minus our expenses, right? So if we had any expenses um, or anything, so our total expenses for the individual with the W-2 income is 162,600 bucks, right? Then we add our standard deduction to that amount, and that nets us to a taxable income of 25 grand. So 25 grand is how much um, income that is taxable, right? So you take the 200 and you subtract your expenses and deduction. You subtract your expenses from your business, which is 162,600, and adding and subtracting your standard deduction. In this case, you're single, so it's 12,400 bucks, and then that nets us to our taxable income of 25 grand here, right? So this 25 grand, it lets us know our marginal tax rate. So this 25 grand lands in which bucket over here when you're single. So the 25 grand lands us in the 25 in the 12% tax bracket here. So our marginal tax rate is 12%. So we are over here. So this is how taxes work, guys. So we take the first 9,875, and that's taxed at 10%, and then we take the rest of that amount, and that's taxed at 12%, and that gives us a total tax to be paid of $2,803. Right now, when we get our W-2s from our employees, from our employer, we get our W-2s from our employer. Now we have 10 grand in withholding. This when you fill out your W-4 form. You say this is how much I want to withhold from each paycheck. But each paycheck should have a federal withholding for state and the federal on it. So this guy in this example had 10 grand that they withheld from his paycheck. And this is what I want you guys to really get. This 10 grand that we withheld from our paycheck is already our money. You know, the IRS just took it and your employer just took it and withheld it for you. So when they withhold this money, this federal withholding is going to be used against your tax liability. In this case, it's $2,800 is our tax liability. So this will net us. This will net us $7,197 in a refund. So you see that? That's how the magic works. I'm trying to paint the picture as simple as I can, but this is how people get big refunds. They have a lot of federal withholdings that they had their employer take out of each paycheck, and that goes against their their tax liability, which is the 2,800 here, and that spits out us a refund. Now, if you guys, some people get fancy. I got some clients who file exempt on their W-4. Don't file exempt on here. Always put a zero. Always put a zero on your W-4s. That way they can withhold as much as they need to. Always put a zero on your W-4. Never file exempt because a lot of people don't have this if they file exempt. Then they have this this $2,800 tax liability, and they don't have any withholdings to cover it. So they have to come out of pocket to pay this tax liability, and therefore they get no refund. So that's how the basics of how we get our refund. Unless you have like the earned income credit, you have kids and dependents, um, and you have like educational credits. Those are refundable credits. That's when you can get money back, from filing your taxes. But in the simplest form, we do not make money out of taxes. We just really get our money back that they withheld throughout the year. Right now, I'm gonna show you this final example. 'Cause I have some clients who just don't file taxes. They don't believe in taxes, so they don't file it. But they do have this federal withholding. They do have this federal withholdings on each paycheck. So every year they're working and working and working and have these pay stubs, but their federal withholdings are not being redeemed. They're not filing their taxes, so they're not getting their money back. So I have an example here. Tom hasn't filed in 3 years. He hasn't filed in 2018, hasn't filed in 2019, and hasn't filed in 2020. But he has a tax of $1,000 in 2018 and a federal withholdings amount of 5,000, which leaves him a refund in 2018 of 4,000. So he's leaving $4,000 on the table. 2019, same thing. He had a total tax of $6,000, federal withholdings of 2,000, which is going to show that he owes, but again, he still gets he still has money on the table that he's leaving here. Then he has a tax liability. I need to switch these numbers around here. So I just need to switch these numbers around. My error. Pointed out, but he leaves him $4,000 on the table. So his total tax is 2,000, and the federal withholding is 6,000. I need to swap these amounts around. Again, like I said, so he's leaving $4,000 on the table for 2019. Now in 2020, he had a tax of 3,000 and the federal withholdings of 10,000. Right? This goes back to our other example of federal withholdings of 10,000. He had a refund waiting on him of $7,000. So in total, if we did all of his taxes for the 3 years, and he came to us like, man, I haven't did my taxes for so long. I need somebody to finally do them. And he hasn't filed. He's going to be expecting a big refund of 15 grand, right? After we go through all of his W-2s and we received all of his documents, he's going to be expecting a big refund because he hasn't filed in 3 years. This is where it looks like they make money, but they really don't. They're just really recapturing the money that they withheld from their paycheck each year. So that is the secret sauce. This is a W. I mean, this is a paycheck here, and it shows us federal withholding. Let me go back. It shows us federal withholdings right here of $60. So they take this out, take this $60 out each paycheck times 12, you know, and then that's going to equal some amount. But this amount is going to equal our total federal withholdings amount, total federal withholdings amount that's going to go against our taxes to be paid. And this is how we get our refund, guys. So I hope this wasn't too complicated. I'm getting better at painting the picture for you guys. But this is why you guys need, and I'm telling you, you guys need to file your taxes every year. You do not want to leave money on the table, and you want to be compliant. And we help you guys do that at Dudley Accounting Services. So reach out to us ASAP. I'm going to leave my link in the description. Book an appointment with me if you have any questions, and we will get her done. All right, guys. It's been a blessing. I'll check with you guys next week. Peace.